against really soon Blingtron. We forgot about the Blingtron. That's one of the cards that is acting in two ways, because it can destroy a weapon already being played by replacing that with a random weapon, a random weapon from the Blingtron. But also Amaz is playing at Harrison Jones. Oh, look at that!
And there it is already. I mean, both Blingtron and Harrison Jones able to deal with the most important weapon that has always been a trouble for Priest. We saw it right now being drawn by Firebat. It's the Gorhau.
Gorhau is like drawing 6 cards in a row. Well, almost. Because it just can be used as a trade for every single minion the Priest is playing.
Yeah, for sure. And it's very good for Amaz that he has not one but even 2 solutions against that Gorhau already. This Priest deck seems to be very well suited against one of the most popular classes in this meta, which is Warrior. And Amaz building this deck to perfection for this meta game.
So Amaz had Fold Steel 2 Taskmasters. This is really unfortunate, because that Taskmaster is actually doing opposite things than Trickmeister is doing, and those Taskmasters would be great if Amaz would be actually playing Shadow Ward's Death.
Yeah, but there's still some use for the Taskmasters combined with another spell that Amaz is playing. That spell being Shadow Madness. You can steal a minion and then
buff it and then kill something bigger. Yeah, there are always some uses, but you know, Priest is almost always looking for something better in its Fold Steals, because Fold Steals in this situation, when you're lacking any kind of big minions, you have to get those through Fold Steal. And now we are seeing 2 new weapons spawned from the Blingtron.
Yeah, the Cog Hammer for the Priest and the
Power Mace. That's Power Mace.
The Power Mace. That's a Shaman weapon right there. It buffs a mech on Death Rattle. However, Firebat unfortunately doesn't have any mechs, therefore it's just going to be another Fiery War Axe for him.
Well, 3 Fire War Axe against a Priest. Count me in.
Yeah, it's pretty much Fire War Axe versus Stormforge Axe right there. And
well, Amaz is not in a great position. I think he has to Fold Steal again.
Oh, what is he doing here? Northshire Cleric. I guess he just wants to buff Northshire Cleric. Is he looking for a specific 4-drop here?
I don't know, but he has the Vol'jin. Oh, he will buff the second time. Will he do it? Really? That means that he will just trade it for the Belcher.
He buffs the... Oh, actually, yeah, he goes for a Circle of Healing, drawing 3 cards. That is a big play right there.
Okay, didn't see that coming. Really a great play from Amaz here. It's his experience with Priest just shines in this matchup.
Yeah, the Taskmaster is really applied well here.
Drawing 3 cards just for playing a 0 mana spell is a great outcome. But still, there's a long way to go for Amaz to win this matchup.
Yeah, Shield Maiden definitely a big threat here. It's very hard to deal with for Amaz. As we said before, Amaz might struggle against bigger minions.
There's no easy way of actually dealing with a 5/5 creature. Only way to kill those, like the best way to kill those, is actually using Holy Nova and Aukenai with Circle of Healing. But this will be disastrous when it comes to resources from Amaz, and also he doesn't even have the Aukenai Soul Priest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Amaz might just need another good Thought Steal here. What will he get?
Grommash and Shield Slam. Well, that's unlucky.
Shield Slam is a very dead card, and Grommash on the other hand is a very powerful card though.
Amaz isn't playing any Pyromancers in his Priest deck, so that Shield Slam is really useless.
And
Circle of Healing used second time, but to a disadvantage too, because he's healing the Belcher second time also. Gorhau.
There we see the Gorhau.
Oh, this is disastrous for Amaz. Now we are sure that there will be Harrison Jones next turn.
Yeah, Harrison Jones has to be played. This is the kind of card that Amaz has been waiting for to play, that Harrison Jones.
Leaving the Gorhau for another turn would just mean that you are sacrificing a whole card just to, you know, pay few points of damage there to your opponent.
Yeah, but still, he's under so much pressure from the Shield Maiden and the Belcher.
That's 8 points of damage, and with the Fairy Warriors, actually that is 11 points.
Those that will be dropped. Very wise move, preventing any sort of spell shenanigans like Shadow Madness or Shadow Word Pain or Holy Nova.
This might be the game. Amaz can only use...
Shrinkmeister. What?
He could have stole the whole Belcher.
Yeah, he could have stolen the whole Belcher.
And now he doesn't have anything left. That was weird, right?
Yeah, he could have Shrinkmeister and stolen it. That was... And then Harrison would have actually killed one of the 5/5s.
Oh man, that...
Wow, that was a huge misplay. I'm pretty sure.
That would mean that he would actually live for another turn.
Did he just not see it?
I think so. He played too... He was rushing too much in that game. Maybe he's exhausted from that really long semi-final with Strife Crow.
Oh yeah, for
this
sure.
might be a factor here. Firebat had actually a break from the game, and you know when you are playing seven really intense
games
matches with Strife Crow, you can actually be exhausted from that.
Yeah, and the players only had like a 15-minute break or something.
Yeah.
So
even 10 minutes, I think. So Amaz might be just exhausted from the game. We'll see how that goes. Next match, we'll be seeing the... next game, we'll be seeing the pairings in few seconds. We're just receiving the message here. But Amaz, well, he has his own warrior. Oh no, his warrior is banned. So other decks that he can play are actually Paladin and Warlock. What would you choose here? Did we see the Warlock from Amaz? I'm not sure. I think we didn't. No, we had to see it. Or was it banned? I'm not
against
sure.
Strifecode was banned, but
Yeah, against Strifecode the
I
Warlock
don't
was
remember
banned.
actually.
I think we didn't actually see the Warlock from Amaz the whole tournament, so it might actually be either Handlock or Zoo. And with this kind of setup, when you're playing a priest that is great against heavy minions deck, and then you actually might be playing Handlock in this situation. Or you want to punish some other control decks that might be actually Zoo. Amaz is still thinking what to choose here. That's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, what would you choose actually?
Well,
Do you feel like Paladin could be strong here?
against a warrior, well, that was the control Paladin with the addition of the combo. I don't think that's a
Didn't
good...
work out against Strife Crow.
I don't think that's a good option here. Actually, Amaz wanted to choose the warrior, but he was reminded that his warrior was banned, so he's choosing. He chose the Paladin here. This might be a struggle. We'll have to see how will this pan out, but I'm not favoring Amaz here in this matchup.
I think it's kind of anyone's game. The matchup's fairly equal, I would say. Obviously, it all comes down to the combos the Paladin can draw and how well the Paladin can apply them. No matter if it's like an equality combo or the Quartermaster Master for Battle combo. Yeah, it all comes down to this pretty much. How well Amaz can apply those combos to apply a decent amount of pressure and counteract the threats that Firebat is putting on the board.
Well, we have to see this, and also it's worth a reminder. It's worth a reminder that Firebat is sporting a unique hunter, which is playing Undertakers with Ragnaros and double high mains. So this might be something that Amaz wants to counter with a Paladin afterwards.
Maybe.
We'll have to see, because now also you have to remember that each of those players can use one of his decks that was beaten before. That's a revival rule, so they might want to use one deck twice at some point of the whole match. Humility, well, that's not a card you want to have in your opponent's hand. You want to keep, of course, the Knife Juggler and maybe the Peacekeeper. Nope, Amaz chose to just keep the Knife Juggler. Firebat mulliganing away all three cards, no surprise here. Trogzor and Cruel Taskmaster.
Firebat does have the Trogzor. This is actually can be really decent against Paladin.
Oh, there's a Master for Battle, but Amaz mulliganed away the Quartermaster. Well, this will be a tap war, I think. Oh no, there's a Knife Juggler. Oh, there's a tap. Firebat wanted to bluff the weapon that there's no Flare War Axe, so Amaz would actually play a decent drop, but Amaz didn't fall for that. Now there's a... He will have to con out True Silver Champion just to deal 4 damage to that Acolyte of Pain, denying 2 more draws than 1 from that minion, which is crucial in every single matchup that Warrior is playing.
Yeah, that is okay to use the True Silver like this. Nowadays there are not many good targets if you want to attack with this True Silver. Oh, actually, Firebat does play the Armor Smith though, so that's gonna be a good target. He will most likely just attack it with the True Silver charge, so he can, after that, play Master for Battle and not have the True Silver standing in the way of the Light's Justice that spawns from the Master for Battle.
Well, turn 4 might be actually a second True Silver, then turn 5 might be a Bomb Blubber.
That could also be the case.
Or you
just play the hero power,
you
Master
might
will attack the 1/1 and then Knife Juggler into Master for Battle.
Well, This is a tough turn for Amaz. I think you even might do a Knife Juggler Master for Battle turn 5. I think this might be the case.
Right now we actually got news from our production crew that we have some winners already lined up for you for the giveaways, I would assume. And but just refresh the page and you will see in the channel description the winners of the
giveaways.
I would,
yep.
I guess.
Knife Juggler 3 times, so probably it will kill the Taskmaster. And the Light of Justice will deal 4 points of damage, it's like a small dot. Death Spite, if there's no Quartermaster for the next turn, that Death Spite will counter the Master for Battles. This will be very painful for Amaz. He really needs that Quartermaster right now. And that's a Harrison Jones. That's nothing that he was looking for.
Yeah, unfortunately the board of all those 1/1s will just die to the Death by Death Rattle right here.
At least they dealt like 6 points of damage because of the Knife Juggler. But that's still nothing that he wanted to do with such a powerful combo.
Right, Firebat attacking the hero.
And Trogzor entering the battlefield. That's the first time we actually see him being played.
Well, I think he was played, but he never was really high impact. Trogzor...
Oh, that's sad. There's actually an owl against Trogzor.
Oh, wow.
If needed. But I don't think he will even play the owl here. Just playing Sylvanas. Luckily for Firebat, he has his own owl to negate the effect of Sylvanas.
I want to talk about Trogzor a little bit more. Many players, many pro players as well, have predicted that Trogzor is the best legendary in the set, but that spotlight has kind of been taken by Dr. Boom.
Yep, there is a huge discussion between the pros on Twitter that they actually, well, saying that they were not right and Dr. Boom is the best legendary in GVG set. Most of the pros were wrong, saying that Trogzor is the high impact legendary from that set. So as you can see, everyone can make mistakes in that department.
Yeah, but Trogzor obviously is still a very powerful
card.
Yeah,
of course. No one said it's actually now a bad card, but it's a less impact card than it was before.
Yeah, I definitely expected more players to play Trogzor, but actually people have caught on to the trend of Dr. Boom, and most players are actually playing Dr. Boom now instead of Trogzor in that 7 mana slot.
7 mana wasn't really played before the expansion, so this is a new type of mana curve that will be appearing in most of the decks right now, and this is also saying something to you when your opponent is silencing a Acolyte of Pain instead of Trogzor. That might actually mean that there is no abilities in your opponent's hand.
Oh man, he really wanted to hit the trucks or with the bomb blobber, that's for sure. And he didn't get it. Like, it was the huge outcome for Firebat in this situation.
If you will play equality, will the newly spawned truck will be also affected by that?
It will.
We'll see how that goes right now. Yep. So a 3-1 truck. And that's the game.
Yeah, despite along with the 6th attack from Trogs or the Earthinator, will be able to finish this game.
So that was quick.
Firebat going up 2-0 against Amaz already. Man, are we maybe gonna see a 4-0 here?
With the warrior, well, Amaz's setup isn't actually so good against that warrior. He has some flaws in his setup, I think. Well, we still didn't see the warlock, so I think Amaz will actually pick the warlock right now or revive the warrior, but revive the paladin. But I think it will be the warlock picked. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. What just comes to my mind, what just goes to my mind right now is why Amaz put so much faith in his paladin deck. To be fair, because the paladin deck has been performing very poorly for him.
Yeah, his build isn't actually tweaked, I think. It's more of an old approach to the paladin, and I think that paladin has actually to be like a newly spawned deck, kind of like Strifer did. It has to be more aggressive and like abuse the combo that you have in the hand and fit the whole strategy of the deck. And most of the time, Master for Battle will actually fit more aggressive decks than more controllish ones.
We see right now on the screen, Amaz is actually
reviving
his
the priest.
Wow, I mean, the priest definitely has the chance to beat the warrior, but it didn't work out the first time. So will we see Amaz maybe pulling off kind of a miracle victory against this warrior right now?
Well, this will be hard. If he will win with that priest, then the priest might encounter a rogue on his way, and that rogue might be actually very good against that kind of priest.
Yeah, that rogue definitely is very scary. It doesn't rely on minions
so much.
It is kind of a miracle rogue, obviously, because it has still one gadgetson in there, and as well as other card cards like Azodrakes and Sprint.
The only thing that the rogue has to fear against this priest is Harrison Johns. There aren't exactly many cards that are like threatening the rogue. Well, maybe Injured Blade Master and Tin 2 with a Circle of Healing, that might be really disastrous until there's a sap for that. So that's also not a big problem.
Harrison Jones definitely a very important card there. Also Blinktron in some regard if you're facing an Assassin's Blade that's
already being buffed.
Up.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how that goes. First of all, Amaz has to face the Mighty Warrior deck that Firebat is sporting here. So good luck to Amaz. He will need it. That's the third time he is battling against that deck, and second time with his priest. I really hope that we will see some powerful plays with Shadow Madness and Recombulators, and well,
yeah, I mean, we've seen Amaz make a comeback against Strife Crow as well. But against Strife Crow he used the Warrior deck, which was maybe even his most powerful deck. And Firebat wisely banning that Warrior. So Amaz kind of in a tough spot now.
Also, guys, we just broke $2,400. Thank you very much for all the donations, and you will still have the third day raffle, so be sure to join and donate any amount of money that you see fit. Everything you need to make the donation is just below the stream. There's a link for that to Child's Play PayPal. Thank you guys very much.
And right now we are jumping right into the game. Amaz, his second try on the priest. Will he succeed? Let's find out.
2 Acolytes of Pain in the opening hand. Okay, that is okay. I think it practically means that if Amaz will play a priestess on turn 1, It will be not so good against those acolytes, which will just draw instantly cards for that. Shrink Master being played on an empty board. Did you anticipate that?
I definitely don't know if it's necessary to do this, because what's Amaz's game plan here? Does he want to apply
Rush
pressure
down?
with this?
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be fit.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. I think that the overall game plan for Priest is and should always be the controlling the board and
Winning
just
mid-game, I
applying-
think.
making the most out of every spell that you can have. And Shrinkmeister usually is like, even though it's drop, it's usually like not being played before turn 4, where you can combine it with Shadow with Pain, or if you can combine it with Shadow Madness, or even better like Kagabal Shadow Priest. It's just kind of a mid to late game 2-drop.
Well, now it's kinda okay, because Amaz has time to play with Power Shield, what he didn't play it on Shrinkmeister. So most probably he anticipated that the Shrinkmeister will be dead before that Dark Cultist will also use his Death Rattle, and the Death Rattle, well, he wants to make that effect on his injured Blade Master. That's a really powerful board. Turn 4, 4/7 creature.
Firebat doesn't have anything to deal with it so far. He really needs an execute.
Execute or at least a Depths Bite, but he misses all 3 of those, and also a Fury Warrex. So this is a really bad spot for Firebat.
And Shadow Madness is also gonna be a high impact card.
Cruel
especially with this kind
Taskmaster.
of board.
For the 3rd time,
Yeah, the Shadow Madness into Cruel Taskmaster play. Definitely a possibility. But right now, Amaz chooses to go for the board trade, not allowing Firebat any favorable trades whatsoever. Healing up his Blade Master to get it out of range of execute. That might be top decked.
Shield Slam a little too late. Oh wait, there's still Shield Block and Shield Maiden, so actually it might be useful this turn too.
Yeah,
Shield
he can
Block,
actually, with the
but-
use of the coin, he can shield block, armor up, and then shield slam the Blade Master away. That is
Yeah.
what players that Firebat can do right
we
now.
will definitely see that. That's one of those plays that actually will mean it's 1-for-1 trade for that injured Blade Master, so it's really important not to lose like a damage card and then execute.
Yeah, and it also gets rid of Amaz's biggest threat immediately. And losing the coin doesn't really hurt Firebat so much, because he still has a lot of good plays on turn 6 with the Shield Mate, for example.
And raging that that cultist is also really important, because that's one of the minions that Firebat doesn't really want to kill because of his Death
Yeah.
Rattle, but now it's a 5/6 minion.
He really needs to do something about it soon, otherwise it will just get constant pressure on the warrior's health, and eventually the warrior might actually get rushed down. So the Shrinkmeister turn 2 play actually paying off in that
Yeah.
regard.
That's true. That was actually a heads-up play. Baron Geddon not actually useful this time, but we might see just Northside Cleric into empty board. I mean, without any effect.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. He
Yep.
also doesn't want to overextend too many good, doesn't want to put too many good greens on the board to have a brawl protection.
Now the problem with this board is Firebat can actually play the Gore Hole, disregarding the one attack from the Death Spite, and kill the Dark Cultist, but this will mean he will be at 9 points of health, which is really low. He still lacks any execute, so he just drops Troxor and prays for the best.
Yeah, he expects to survive this turn, which he will, but Troxor, oh my god, look at this Vol'jin.
Oh man, and then Taskmaster dealing with the Troxor.
This is the best thing we've seen Vol'jin do all tournament, I assume. And yeah, I mean, Vol'jin definitely a powerful card in that regard. We haven't seen too many big minions, though, in general. That
That's true.
because many players are now playing cards like Antique Healbot and Bomb Blobber, those small minions with good battle cries. So Vol'jin is not really as good as many players predicted him to be. But
At
right
least
now,
at this side of the metagame.
Yeah, but right now he's really strong in this situation.
11 points of damage, so if Blinktron will actually spawn a weapon with 4 attack, this might be the game.
Shit, wait, this is lethal actually? This is...
No, it's not. Is it? Or am I blind?
No, it's not, but he had the recombobulator.
Yeah, he will use the recombobulator to our 6-mana minion, so it might be legendary. It's second time turn!
Oh my god.
When you think about it, recombobulating a 6-mana minion is the best outcome you can actually do, because there's almost there's a big chance of actually hitting a legendary in that spot.
It's actually not good to get care in this situation though, because now Amaz used up his good RNG for this game, and the next recombobulator will be bad.
You're sure of that? What can be a bad when it comes to a 6 drop?
I don't know. Maybe something with a battle cry.
There's nothing.
Nothing comes to mind. I usually don't think about what is the worst minion that I could get. I'm always looking for the best one.
Yeah, for sure. So now Amaz is back into the game. It's 2-1 for Firebat still though, and Firebat will have to find an answer to the priest. And we know he is playing the hunter, but I don't think he will use the hunter against this kind of priest. He has just too low amount of minions. Too much. The minion count with less than 3 attack is just too high against that kind of priest. And other options for Firebat here are rogue. Of course, that's a rogue.
Yeah, and that is exactly the deck that he's gonna bring to the table here. Firebat, believing in the power of his Miracle Rogue, with the double Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil, a new addition from Goblins vs. Gnomes. A very powerful card indeed. We've seen it win games here in this tournament already.
2 times already.
So definitely a strong contender.
Yeah, and when the metagame was before GVG, Miracle Rogue was actually a counter to any kind of priest.
That is true. And
we're jumping into the game.
I mean, the Blade Flurries are just going to be insane in this matchup. The priest from Amaz will put a lot of minions on the board, and a big weapon, if Firebat can set it up and it doesn't get destroyed by Amaz, will just be devastating with Blade Flurry.
That's very true, and both players are hitting cards that they really want to get. So in the case of Firebat, he has the Gazetan Auctioneer already in hand. Well, it's for 6 mana, but still on Gazetan. So if he will draw into preparations, it will hit. This will mean a lot.
Yeah, Gadgetzan. I kind of feel like Gadgetzan is not a card that you actually want anymore in your opening hand. It's not a card that you are looking for actively, because now with the increased cost, you just cannot play it early anyway anymore. So it's more of a late game top deck that you can draw your additional cards.
Now Firebat will clear the board, which is very fortunate for him. First of all, we kill the priestess and then eviscerate the unfortunate dark cultist that is just standing in the way there.
Yeah, very nice board clear by Firebat. He needs to keep the board clear.
Villain's chosen. Oh, that's another good draw. You don't have even a target to play that.
Yeah, but if this Organize survives, which it most likely won't.
What are the options here? You can redagger, play Deadly Poison.
Yeah, Fan of Knives.
Or just
Fan of Knives better because it gives you a fresh dagger.
Yep. That's right. And then next turn you can play the Thinkmaster Oil if you really want to. Or you have an option to play Azure Drake, backstab for 3 points of damage and play Deadly Poison on your dagger, which means you can clear about any minion that can priest drop. Even such minion as Recombobulator, which is 5/6. That's exactly what Firebat needs for that turn.
Oh yeah, backstab into Deadly Poison.
And he will use the top deck backstab, which can, you know, flip your opponent over.
just to try and tilt Amaz with top decks.
Yep. Very nicely done by Firebat.
I'm still waiting for the Assassin's Blade. This is going to be like one of the key plays in this matchup. if Firebat draws into Assassin's Blade and then is able to buff it with Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil, and Amaz doesn't have a weapon removal against it, it will just take this game in a few turns.
So now Amaz didn't opt to play anything at all, which means that Firebat got a free turn. He can do whatever he likes, and I think that that's the turn for the sprint.
Yeah, that is a perfect turn for a sprint. He has the board still, and yeah, he's even putting on some pressure against Amaz with his Azure Drake.
Oh, he gets a preparation, so it might be a turn when we will see turn 8. Gadgeton, prep, sap, backstab into Shiv.
That's a lot of spells in one turn.
Yep. Shadow Madness and Recombobulate
Coin Recombobulator.
for a 5 mana drop, which might be a Kodo, an example. A Kletkov, to be honest, but it's
But it
named
can also
Kodo.
be a...
Oh man! Leroy Jenkins, that's insane! Oh no! But still, it's a good target for the backstab that is sitting in Firebat's hand. So prep first. Assassin's Blade, okay. Blade Flurry. Deadly Poison. So that's for the next turn. Now you can just Redagger or just play Shiv. I would actually play Shiv.
Yeah, you're most likely gonna play the Assassin's Blade next turn anyway, but there's a chance that you don't do it, so...
Wow, that Leroy, man.
That Leroy putting a lot of pressure on Firebat, that's for sure. And now he has to be worried about his health.
Deadly
He does have double
Poison.
parse here though, so in that regard he can stay a little safe. Does have the sap too to deal with the sludge pressure that's really
Second
annoying.
step also, and look at that Tinker. Oh man, this is so much damage.
That's right. The Sharp Sword Oil will be played, and the Shiv will be able to deal with that Farseer. And there's gonna be a lot of damage incoming.
How much damage is that? That's actually 13 points of damage.
That is half of Amaz's HP.
With just one turn. That's insane. Shiv Farseer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Shiv is going at...
Oh, Blade Flurry.
Actually, he's going for the Blade Flurry. Maybe
That's
he's afraid
very
of...
well done.
Maybe he's afraid of...
Blingtron and Harrison Johns. That's actually playing around a weapon destruction. Very well done by Firebat. He can actually use the prep if he wants.
Yeah, actually though, the reason why he didn't use the Shiv is also because he would overdraw two cards.
You're right. Yep, we didn't count his hand size here.
I mean, he's already overdrawing one from the regular draw, so Shiv would have overdrawn a little bit
So
more.
now prep, sap, or whatever.
It doesn't matter. All he has to do is sap and then play anything, and he wins.
Well, this was a quick game. Leroy didn't help much. It was just a lucky draw from the Recombobulator. He would actually be much happier with a Belcher there.
Oh yeah, for sure. That Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil once again proving why it's such a strong card. Empowering Blade Flurry and the Gadgeton. And Firebat is just going full BM on Amaz right now. Amaz letting it slide, not conceding, giving his teammate a little bit of fun.
Oh man, even Agent, his own hero.
And Firebat takes this game, beats Amaz's Priest, and he cannot revive any of his decks anymore.
Yep, so he has been left with his Warlock deck.
That's right, but the Warlock deck can actually beat Firebat's Rogue. Maybe?
Well, we still don't know which kind of Rogue is it. If it's a Handlock, that was a natural opponent for Miracle Rogue some time ago. But
If it's Zoo?
if it's Zoe, then actually it was the same. I mean, it was the other way around. But with this kind of Miracle Rogue, with two Blade Flurries, I think even increase the chances against most kind of minion decks. So we'll see in a second. If that's a Zoo, I think Amaz is in a really bad spot.
It all comes
yeah.
down to the draw of Firebat, though. Firebat needs those clutch cards to deal with the
Like
Zoo aggression.
coin.
First of all, he needs the coin. That's true. But also SI7, Backstab, those are the important cards in this
Yeah.
matchup.
Afterwards, that Deadly Poison and Blade Flurry. Well, Eviscerates can also be very important, and those saps can actually be also used just to buy time for you to build your board with weapons and play a really meaningful Blade Flurry. It's not uncommon to see a sap on a Harvest Golem, an example, or on a 2-drop. Or Flame Imp is a really great target for the sap. It buys you time, and also the Warlock player is not so eager to replay a Flame Imp. It's just 6 damage to your face. You don't want to do that, especially when Rogue is playing double Blade Flurries, because that means that essentially every single weapon that Rogue has is being treated like with a Wind Fury. Because in one turn you can actually deal twice the damage that the weapon has.
Yeah, but let's not talk about that. What could happen in theory. First, we have to see what Amaz actually brought to the table with this Warlock, and it is going to be a Handlock.
Okay, so this might be hard for Firebat. 2 Twilight Drakes? That's insane.
It is interesting though, considering that Amaz could have taken that Handlock to play against Firebat's Warrior instead of for the Paladin.
And he still didn't use the revive back then, right?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Well, anyway, Amaz may be thinking a little bit too highly of his Paladin and ended up getting punished for it, because I actually think that Handlock has a very decent matchup against Warrior. We've seen it.
We've seen it before.
We've seen it when Strifecrow played it, for example.
Yep, you're right. And well,
he could have won both games against Amaz. In the semi-final when Amaz chose to revive his Warrior.
Yep.
But Strifecrow played a little bit unsafe there and got punished. But he actually could have won both games. So I think that Handlock actually has a decent matchup against Warrior. I wonder why Amaz didn't go for it first. But regardless, right now Amaz down to his last deck with this Warlock, and yeah, I think he might be able to pull this off with the double Twilight Drake. That's pretty good. So
well, Twilight Drake is a huge pain in the back of the Rogue.
Oh yeah, it is so hard to deal with, and if the Rogue doesn't have enough like efficient removal or saps against those minions like Twilight Drakes and Mountain Giants.
Oh wow, he just did a setup for Eviscerate next turn, but this will mean that Amaz will trade his Twilight Drake for one of the creatures, and then most probably he will use a Farseer on that.
No, he will just play the second Twilight Drake here.
Well, okay, that's also okay.
Because the fire, even if he heals that Twilight Drake, it still dies to Eviscerate.
Oh, Tinkermaster Oil. This might be useful right now. Let's count.
Right now? Wait, what?
No, never mind. It doesn't mean anything. You have to play Belcher, load up here.
Yeah, killing off that Twilight Drake with a hero power and ignoring the second Twilight Drake for now.
Siphon Soul for 11 points of mana. That's not relevant here at all. Twilight Drake killing the Farseer, so really great value in that Twilight Drake. 2 preps. That's not a good draw at all.
Oh, Backstab is gonna deal with that slime, maybe. Yeah, he actually goes for it. So he can...
Eviscerate will deal with the Twilight Drake, and then a poke from the dagger will deal with the Twilight Drake at all.
But this double preparation is such a dead card right now for Firebat. Sure, it can enable Tinker's Sharpshooter, but he would more likely enable something better with that. For example, a Gadget Auctioneer or a Sprint.
Well, maybe he will top deck at Gadget Auctioneer and it'll be all fine.
Yeah, we will have to see. It all comes down to the next couple of draws for Firebat. Right now, he has a little bit of a board presence, but he has absolutely nothing in his hand whatsoever.
That's weird. I thought that Amaz will be using Soulfire just to tap more. He played super safe against that low tap, but he doesn't even have any clutch cards in his hand, so he could actually risk the Soulfire here.
Another interesting card for Amaz is that Big Game Hunter. It actually can prove to be very good if Tinker's Sharpsword Oil actually buffs a minion.
You're right. life tap first. There's a mountain giant.
Oh, wow, that is a big draw. This will put a lot of pressure on Firebat, giving him much less time to draw the cards he needs.
So it's Gazetten or Riot. Blade Flurry. Well, that's not enough.
Well, Sep buys him another turn.
Yep.
That's for sure. He might just play it.
Sep Giant, attack for 1, Redagger, and just pray for the Gazette next turn.
Very unexciting turn. Firebat needs a Gadsden or a Sprint. Amaz most likely just gonna replay that Mountain Giant.
Oh,
Followed by a
second one!
Mountain Giant.
Oh
That is big.
man, so now what Firebat needs is 2 deadly poisons in one draw.
There's another Sep.
That's
not
that
what
only
Firebat is
buying him
looking for.
time.
Not what Firebat is looking for here. Oh man, this is rough.
Well, if he will draw into a Gazette, will he be able to actually then draw 2 deadly poisons and clear the board with the Blade Fury? Let's count it. 2 preps. One will be for Tinker Sharp's Oil, which will mean that he will have 3 mana left. Then Deadly Poison into Deadly Poison, and then prep into Blade Fury. That's actually possible.
You also have to keep in mind that by using both Seps already, he will have nothing to bypass taunts anymore.
Yeah, that's why he has the Blade Flurry, but he used 1 attack
Oh,
from
and
it
the
already.
Ragnaros. But Amaz will actually just play safe. He saw both Seps gone already, so there's now no reason not to taunt up both those Mountain Giants. He actually decides to go for taunting up an Ancient Watcher instead. Making use out of that Ancient Watcher definitely can't be wrong. And Firebat most likely is going to lose this game. Now, yeah, only has 1 Blade Flurry to deal some damage, but that's not enough to deal
That's
with
not
those
enough.
Mountain Giants.
Yep. Well played.
Amaz taking this game with his Handlock. And yeah, Handlock has been performing very well so far in this tournament. Drivecro has had a solid performance with Handlock. Neria also chose to bring Handlock in this
Yep.
tournament and also performed very well with it. And now Amaz beating Firebat's Rogue and maybe trying to start a comeback with his Handlock right now.
We'll see how that goes. There's still Hunter in Firebat's arsenal, and it's, you know, it has Hunter's Mark and Deadly Shots, which
Oh,
are
yeah.
very good against, well, every single target that Amaz has in his Handlock. So this we might see the Hunter here. Yeah, of course, we just got the message. Firebat picks the Hunter, so that's a natural pick against Warlock here, and we'll be starting the game really soon. And what do you think? What are the cards that you are looking for as a Hunter in the opening hand?
Well, as a hunter, you want those Hunter's Marks for the early game trades if an early Twilight Drake or Mountain Giant hits the board, and as well as obviously Freezing Trap to get rid of them in another way.
What about that 1 drop that all are fearing so much?
Well, Undertaker helps, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, but besides that, Firebat still has the Deadly Shot to deal with big minions. He has Ragnaros to just deal a huge amount of damage out of nowhere, pretty much. Maybe even hitting phased for lethal.
That's true. What we've seen, because that kind of Hunter is somewhat a hybrid between an aggro deck and a control deck, so there's a chance that Firebat will get a really clunky hand with like a Ragnaros and 2 high mains, and you're practically stopped for playing for like 4 or 5 turns.
Yeah, another thing interesting to note is that this Hunter is actually also fairly resilient to AoE. It has the Haunted Creepers, of course, that spawn Spiralings, but also has high mains and Snapjaw as well.
Oh, there's a big game Hunter, look at that!
Oh, we totally forgot about that one.
Yeah.
We saw it before.
Yeah, we saw
it
that,
before,
we
but
just did forget it.
Yeah, this is like what puts this matchup over the top for Firebat, I think.
And he even hits the Undertaker with Mad Scientist. He has the deadly shot. He has a big game hunter.
This is like the dream hand for Firebat right now.
Amaz is responding with a Ancient Watcher, which is really crucial just because of the deadly shot.
So Firebat will start to go to town with this Undertaker.
There's a owl from Amaz's side just to activate that sleeping Yeti there.
Yeah, he has to do it too.
Killing the Undertaker here, for sure.
I mean, Amaz's hand seems pretty solid against that early game hunter start in general. Mordecai will be able to deal with Leper Gnome if Firebat decides to play that. But we might just see Deadly Shot maybe?
What
Let's see
is
what
that
kind of
trap?
this is.
Oh, we didn't see it yet. That's a snake trap.
Alright, Snake Trap. Yeah, because he got the Snake Trap, he actually decided to not Deadly Shot that Ancient Watcher in hopes that the Ancient Watcher would attack the Leper Gnome. But Firebat is having, Amaz is having none of that, just Mortal Coiling the Leper Gnome instead.
You know what? An Ancient Watcher with Owl Opener is one of... I think that's the one draw that can actually win the game for the Hunter here.
For the Handlock, you mean?
For the Handlock here, because he is more aggressive than Hunter, and he can finish the game before the Hunter even does anything.
Yeah, definitely one of those key components is that Ancient Watcher, and along with an enabler to just counteract the Hunter aggression. But we still have so much late game threats for Firebat, and late game answers as well with the big game Hunter and Deadly Shot.
But look at that. Even with trading for that Ancient Watcher, there will be 5 points of damage going to the Hunter's face, so he will be at 15 points. That's not an amount that you want to see when you're facing a Handlock, which can kill you with 2 giants, just in 1 turn. There's also the Ragnaros for Amaz, which will be really useful when you will not trigger the Snake Trap at all.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. He will just keep ignoring those minions, and Snake Trap is just completely worthless at the moment. Firebat will need something to taunt up his minion in order to... or just get a Sludge Bash or something like that, but he doesn't even, maybe he doesn't even run Sludge Bash, I don't remember quite. Hunter's Mark doesn't do anything either right now.
That's not useful at all.
Man, this is just a rough couple of turns for Firebat here. Doesn't really have any
Kill
solution.
command the... Oh wow.
Yeah, kill commanding the Sun Fury Protector. No, actually kill commanding the Taunt. Huh.
Okay. So now it will be probably Siphon Soul low tip or just drop Giant? I think drop Giant. Dropping Giant now, killing off the low tip
Yeah,
means...
but killing off the Lothar will trigger the Snake Trap, keep that in mind.
Oh right. Never mind then Siphon Soul might be the case here. Or
Yeah,
just
Amaz
Shadow
maybe is
Flame.
Amaz is just considering right now what is the lesser of 2 evils. Is it the 5-2 Lothar or is it the 3 snakes that enable beast synergies as well? Or even Hunter Mark?
Well, maybe he will just ignore the low tip then.
Yeah, he
Yep.
does so. I mean, he's the guy pressuring Firebat right now, and Firebat has to do something to deal with this giant, but he does have the big game Hunter ready. Amaz is just getting blown out by this play.
Well, he's thinking about it.
Yeah,
Why?
well, he's just thinking about the follow-up, I would assume.
He still is dangerously low. Handmaster without a target for the second time.
What is interesting to note is that Amaz's handlock seems very, very standard. We saw
Even Soulfire.
Soulfire in there, and we don't see like any ancient heal bots.
Yep.
Antique heal, but oh yeah, so there's like almost no healing to counteract that pressure that comes from the Hunter's zero power and eventually threatens to kill that handlock.
Very good turn from the Maz here, dropping just an 8-8 minion and clearing board from every single threat. There's a deadly shot just waiting for a lonely giant.
Yeah, Firebat had the option of just playing Rag here, but he cannot take the risk.
Now Amaz is at 11 points of life. That's not a
Yeah,
good
it's
amount.
a very close game right now.
So do you Siphon Soul or do you play a
Rag and Dark Bomb can finish the game next turn.
Yep. That will be a 50-50, I think. dropping now the Sunfury Protector is a great option, because that's a threat that Firebat has to deal with, and it can mitigate the Fireball from Ragnaros.
From Firebat.
Okay, so now...
And now Amaz is surely going to go for the 50-50 right now.
Yep, that's a 50-50 win right here.
Dark Bomb hitting phase. And what's it gonna be? Ragnaros. I mean, both outcomes are perfect for Amaz right here.
Better is winning, right?
Yeah, but hitting the Rag also doesn't hurt.
So now the problem is...
Oh, Savannah high main. And getting taunted up, but...
That's still...
Amaz has the silence.
Ooh. Oh man, if he gets... No, he didn't get anything relevant here. If he gets a Soulfire...
He can't live tap. He needs to silence that high main.
But
Pretty sure.
He has to silence, then he has to taunt up Rag and Sunfury, kill the Houndmaster with the Sunfury, and hope for a 50-50. Again.
That is absolutely right, but he still has that big Rag, which is also a taunter. This will not allow Firebat to...
What?
Yeah, this will not allow Firebat to punch through any sort of lethal here.
Why didn't you go for a 50-50 win? Oh, there's a snake trap. The second time I said that.
Yeah, now I forgot it too. You're absolutely right. There is the snake trap that we remembered first, but now we forgot. Anyway, Amaz with a strong early game opening with that Ancient Watcher.
3-3, so we are encountering the last game for Firebat, and he will now use the revival rule, right? So he has an option.
I'm fairly sure that Firebat is going to revive the Hunter again.
Well, I hope so.
Because this Hunter is usually supposed to beat Handlock very handily.
Oh, the pun.
Yeah, I mean, Firebat had a pretty sick hand.
In the beginning, yeah, but the draws were kind of clutched with the double Houndmasters that had no beast at all.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
they were kind of poor. And what else that was not so good to draw with it?
Yeah,
I can't really remember, but
the Houndmasters for sure, I agree, they didn't really do anything.
that Ancient Watcher, man, that won the game.
Yeah, that's what you need. I mean, the whole game is pretty much decided in the first couple of turns, depending on the answers that Warlock has against the Hunter.
And we'll be seeing the last match as before, so Hunter versus Handlock, and Firebat needs the win to take the third place in the tournament. But
Yeah.
almost ready. He will be still seeking for the same opening hand as he had before. So, Undertaker, Mad Scientist, maybe Loot Hoarders, and Hunter's Mark and Deadly Shots, and maybe Become Hunter.
Yeah, definitely. We will have to see what Firebat actually gets. He has plenty of good cards, as we have said before, against the Handlock. So Firebat will try to test his luck again and see if it works this time.
Yep. So what is the opening hand this time for the Hunter? There's a Loot Hoarder, which is nice. It
More
always
important to
fits.
see what kind of hand Amaz gets, and he does not have an Ancient Watcher. He doesn't have the Dark Bomb to deal with early game
Oh
as
man,
well. No
there's
Border Coil.
there's a Freezing Trap, a Hunter's Mark. There's an Ancient Watcher, but there's no Owl. You can actually coin out the Ancient Watcher even if you don't have an Owl in hand, because if you top deck it, then you can immediately activate the Ancient Watcher, and you can always tap if you don't.
Right now, though, Amaz is looking to coin Hellfire this board, and this is actually really beneficial for him because he will be able to play that Molten Giant very, very early, thanks to the death rattles of the Loot Hoarder, of the
Yep.
Leper Gnomes, and the Hellfire dealing damage to himself as well.
So now he will
Molten
be
Giant
at
will be able to play
30
next
points.
turn.
That's insane. If he life taps next turn, the Molten Giant will be actually for 1 mana, but you don't want to life tap. And what a really poor turn for Firebat here. Freezing Trap will well, that's always nice, but you have a problem with the whole board anyway.
The freezing trap doesn't actually do anything because the Molten Giant can just get returned to the hand.
And be replayed for whatever it costs. Yeah, the problem is that Amaz doesn't have any heals in his hand. So each turn he will just get 2 points of damage, and at some point he will just be dead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but the Molten Giant is actually going to threaten to...
So now Amaz should be playing the Sun Fury Protector, so he can actually bounce back the Sun Fury.
I actually think you're right. The Sun Fury Protector triggering the freezing trap might have been way better because he might need to hit face immediately with the Molten Giant already.
Yep. This is buying time for Firebat, so he has to drop the Undertaker now and Hero Power instead of Lotep, in my opinion.
Well,
You just...
it doesn't really matter, I think, because the Molten Giant will just get returned to the hand anyway right now. And, wait, what's this?
He just want to bluff. If he does that, Amaz will probably attack face for sure. If he doesn't do that, Amaz might actually think about not attacking at all. But he will attack this price time for Firebat, but it doesn't really mean much because, well, it actually means much. No, it doesn't, because there's a Sun Fury
Molten
waiting.
Giant into Sun Fury is just a perfect play right here, giving Amaz 2 taunters.
And this is why I'd like to see an Undertaker and Hero Power instead of that Lotep, because that Lotep will not go through anyway. It's just a waste of turn, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure, but Firebat didn't know that. He didn't see the Sun Fury before.
Well, of course, but you can assume that there will be some taunters at the Handlock, in Handlock's hand anyway, and he was at 11 points of HP, which is very low. Big Game Hunter, that's a huge draw.
Oh, yes.
This is what he needed.
That is the perfect card for Firebat, and this might actually carry him to victory. Because now Amaz doesn't have any sort of pressure to just race here.
Yep.
To race against the hero power from the Hunter.
He would have to sacrifice his Lotep and Hunter's Mark to kill the giant, and right now Amaz is looking at lethal next turn.
Mordecai will be able to deal with the Lotep.
Twilight
and he can
Drake.
trade off the Big Game Hunter as well.
Yes, and then he will drop the Belcher.
And all he needs to do is survive a couple of more turns, and then Lord Jaraxxus can heal him back up.
Well, that's right, but there's a Ragnar's next turn, and
Oh
if
my God.
Firebat will draw into a kill command, well, he didn't use the hero power this turn, so it means that he will need much more damage from a kill command if that Savannah Jaime will be able to attack through. Second Molten Giant, this is crucial.
This is crazy. This is like the most insane top deck that Amaz could have gotten here. Getting another huge taunt to just stand in the way of the high main.
So that is 11, 15, oh, and a Hunter's Mark, that's insane.
Another
Now-
Hunter's Mark, but he will still have to sacrifice his high main.
He will actually clear the Sludge, play the Hunted Creeper, because Rag hitting the Molten Giant will be just disastrous.
Yeah, he can just set up for lethal next turn with the drag.
So that's 11 points of damage, 15 points of damage with the power
And the
overwhelming.
rag for Amaz right here.
How can he solve the problem here? Well, he has to play the second Defender of Argus, I think.
Yeah, just putting as many taunters on the board as possible is very important here. And yeah, he has to go face as well with his Molten Giant just to be able to close out this game. And
So-
he has a lot of damage to do so.
So now Ragnaros to win the game.
Ragnaros, yeah, I agree. Ragnaros has to do something good here. He has a 33% chance of winning outright.
So this will be a huge,
It all comes down to this.
huge deal. Nope,
Oh!
it misses. But right now doesn't mean. No, it doesn't mean anything.
Amaz can play his rag and
He
also
can
go for lethal
Yeah,
here.
but this lethal has 1 to 6
yeah.
chance to actually succeed in.
But is that actually something he has to do, maybe? Okay, actually, he could just play Lord Jaraxxus, to be fair, because Lord Jaraxxus will heal up back to 15, and then he will be safe from the Ragnaros.
Well, you can. There's no trap. So if you play Jaraxxus, go for face with everything, dealing 8 points of damage.
But what kind of trap is this?
There's no trap.
There's no trap, yeah.
Yeah, there's no trap. So there are no surprises in this board state. What is the best option here?
Is Amaz actually thinking about drag?
I don't think so.
No way. There's no way.
No.
This board just. No, there's no way.
There's a deadly shot, so if he uses the Jaraxxus and doesn't kill a minion, he's dead. No, he's not. Yeah, he's dead. If he doesn't kill a hyena and plays Jaraxxus, he's actually losing the game.
He's going for Jaraxxus. This is the safe play, but Deadly Shot will be able to get rid of the Twilight
Drake has to kill the hyena, and it doesn't.
Wow!
So it's a game for Firebat. Firebat will be. Well, he will take the third place.
He's not gonna be.
No. I just wanted to correctly pronounce. No. I wanted to say he will be on the podium, but I don't know if that's the correct English word.
That is the correct word.
Okay, so Firebat is winning in a really close match against Amaz, 4-3.
Getting that prestigious bronze medal and proving that